Okay, guys, time for the final part of the post-battle sequence. Okay, where you get to do one of two options: standard reinforce or a exploration phase. You can only do one or the other, so choose wisely. The reinforcement's the most straightforward. You would take who's left in your warband, any equipment they have and all that, stay with them. But if you have any ducats left in your armory, you ditch them. Sorry, any ducats in your war chest, you ditch them. If you had any weapons or special equipment in your armory, in other words, you owned something but it wasn't part of the battle, you ditch that too. And then what you do is you look to the threshold of your next battle. The ducats go up by 100 for every game. So for game 2, the threshold is 800. So if you've only got about, say, 550 points left, ducats left in your armory's value, you know you've got another 250 to spend. You don't get to keep any leftover ducats. If you've got 3 or 4 of those ducats left on the reinforcement, they're just gone. Okay, but that's basically a way just to quickly rebuild your army, really straightforward that way. From that point, you can also then be buying extra equipment. You can swap equipment, so just because somebody has your anti-tank hammer, you can give it to someone else on the next turn, you know, so you can swap equipment around through your guys and get them prepared for the next one. It's also the point where you can spend your glory. Spending glory on your mercenaries is straightforward. You know what from your list what mercenaries your warband can take. If it's available to you, you can spend glory on that mercenary. Nice and straightforward. However, check page 2 of your warband section, or page 3 for Sarah. That will be a list of what equipment, ranged and melee weapons, as well as what armor your warband is allowed. At the back of the campaign section is a big glory section. It has absolutely everything listed there, but you can only buy what would normally be allowed to your warband. There is an exception to that, which will come if you choose to do an exploration at some point during the campaign. Something that's definitely worth doing a few times if you do it quite well and can afford to not reinforce. So the exploration phase, it starts with 3 dice for the first couple games. It will eventually go up. So games 3 to 5, you get the 4 dice. 6 to 9, you get 5 dice. 10 plus, you get 6. What happens is you roll all those dice together and add up the score. If you won the game, you get to re-roll one of those dice. Now, there are certain skills your warriors can gain, which again could modify the result of exploration. Check an eye out for them, because they're very well worth doing. Because when it comes to the exploration, to start with, you'll only have the common exploration chart available. There are 2 others, the rare and the legendary, depending how many dice you are rolling. Obviously, the rewards can be absolutely fantastic. But if we look at, say, the common one, we know 3 dice could score 3, and 3 is not on there. They can score up to 18 with the 3 dice. And as we go down the number, all of a sudden we're noticing certain numbers are missing. That's because you have to roll an exact number to get them. So if I was to roll 17, after, whether before or after I've taken a reroll, and my reroll doesn't get me to 18, guess what? 17, I found nothing on that exploration phase. However, when you do find stuff, you can get some really good stuff for free. It could be an extra units, could be extra weapons. Most importantly, if you can find them, you can find traders on the battlefield. Those traders will allow you to buy glory items that your warband isn't allowed to buy. Okay, which will then be specified. So if you want something extra Gucci that you not normally have access to, see if you can get one. One thing with all these locations, once you've discovered a location, you cross it off. If you were to roll that same location again, you don't get it again, because you can't just go back. It's all about finding new stuff on the battlefield. So once you've found that location, you've found it forever. Other people can still find that same location, but you can only find each thing once. So if I was to roll an 18 for Fallen Knight, I would get all the pokes for this game. But if I was to roll on this table again, I've got a cross now through Fallen Knight. I can no longer get that for myself.
Can
Okay.
I make another roll to see if I can explore a different location, or is that my exploration over?
That's your exploration over. If you roll that again.
Right, explain that.
Yeah. Yes, so Sarah just asked, can you re-roll if it's, it turns out, no, it's just classed as if you didn't get an exact number. So if you were to roll somewhere that you've already found and written off, that's it, gone. All right, brilliant. And I'll be available all night should you have any questions.